There is a lot of speculation floating around out there in the world as to where exactly the Garden of Eden may have been. Or to put it a different way, perhaps, where did the ancient Israelite author imagine or envision Eden to be? Very commonly, people will say it's Mesopotamia. Uh, People sometimes think of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon as a potential reference. It might be Persia, some folks would say. There's a school of thought that thinks that the writer is envisioning Jerusalem, actually. Um, but searching for where the Garden of Eden might have actually been is maybe something of a fool's errand. Not only because the story is sort of self-consciously mythological, right? That is, we know from the end that sort of the paths to the garden are closed and you can't get back there. And it's like, it's made to be a secret. It's not the kind of place you might stumble across accidentally. Um, Nobody lives there now. But moreover, the text tells us in its description of Eden that there are 4 rivers. It's not important to, right? You don't have to memorize all 4 rivers. They won't be on the final exam. But um, when we look at the rivers, some of them we can identify and some of them we can't. But certainly the last 2 are the Tigris and the Euphrates. And the one before that, the Gihon, it says flows through the land of Cush. Now, the land of Cush is in Ethiopia, present day. Now, I'm not great at geography, but I don't think there are any rivers that go both through Mesopotamia and through Egypt. This is akin to sort of today telling a story about this, this mythic early place where like the Amazon and the Nile and like, all the great rivers of the world originally issued from there, right? We would be creating to say that we would be creating sort of an aura for the reader of a mythical original like distant in time and place and concept, right? A not real place. So to say where might the Garden of Eden have been is kind of to read against the story as it's being presented to us. The garden is not, right, locatable. It's a special secret sort of place. And the most important thing, though, is to preserve the distinction between the garden in which God makes trees grow and the barren land that remains outside of it, right? All that dry, dusty earth that has no human to make anything grow, that's still out there outside the garden. It's only in the garden that stuff is growing sort of its own accord because God is making it happen. Speaking of trees, there are 2 trees in the garden. There's more than 2 trees in the garden. There are many trees in the garden. There are 2 trees in the middle of the garden. And it's good to understand what's up with these 2 trees. And we'll come back to it a little bit later also. But there's 2. There's the tree of knowledge and there's the tree of life. And only one of them is off limits. Right? Only the tree of knowledge is off limits. The tree of life, evidently, is totally fair game. So we might ask ourselves, did they just kind of like avoid that tree by chance the whole time? Were they eating from that tree regularly? I'm going to come back in a little bit to how I think the tree of life worked. But for now, as something to keep in mind moving forward, the intention seems to be clearly that they can eat from the tree of life. That is, immortality is definitely on the table, right? It's even potentially anticipated, right? That this, at least from this point, that this one human will live in this garden indefinitely. And this will matter to how we understand the story pretty darn soon.